Good morning, everyone. I call to order this 19th meeting of the Public Utility Commission for calendar year 2012. And before we begin public meeting, I think it's most appropriate that we call to the podium to begin the Pledge of Allegiance. The gentleman that I understand who started the Pledge of Allegiance, our good friend and our former chairman, Wendell Holland. So Wendell, the floor is yours to begin public meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. All rise, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is a very special day for the Public Utility Commission. As many of you know, we joined together to celebrate 75 years of stellar service to the citizens of this great Commonwealth. And bear with me here, I'm going to quote some Sophocles in my opening remarks. As I see Chairman Hahn, we were both Jesuit trained. And, you know, this morning really reminds me of what Sophocles, the word Sophocles used to describe how a ship's strength and power are dependent upon the people who unite as its crew. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it's fair to say during our 75-year voyage, we've weathered some very stormy seas, but this morning it's a testimony that we've brought precious cargo to port safely, and that precious cargo was always in the best interest of the 12.3 million citizens of this great Commonwealth. And as I look out in the room this morning, we're going to recognize some of the leaders that had a profound impact on this organization in a moment. But before we do that, I want to call on Secretary Emeritus, the pride of Scranton, Pennsylvania, Scranton Preparatory, and our Director of Communications, Tom Charles. And we would all be remiss here. I felt this morning that like Tom was having, his wife was in the delivery room. I've never seen him that nervous. And Tom, you and your team have done a phenomenal job this morning in organizing today's events, and I just want to thank you for a job well done. And why don't you in the gentlemen, it's your opportunity to unveil the seal. Thank you. Now, before we jump into our official agenda here this morning, my colleagues and I'd like to personally recognize some of the special guests that have traveled near and far to be with us here today. Each of them, as I've mentioned earlier, have had a profound impact on this agency, and I think it's most appropriate that we welcome them back to celebrate this milestone anniversary. So with that, let's start by recognizing them. I want to start with our first honoree this morning, Chairman John Quain. John, thank you for being here. Next to Chairman Quain is Chairman Wendell Holland. Next to Chairman Holland, we have Chairman Susan Shaneman. And I know the historian might correct me here, but I think he was the youngest chairman of the Public Utility Commission. He still looks very young to this day, with three children later. But Glenn Thomas. And next to him, a dear friend of this commission, a longest-serving member of the commission, and that's our former Vice Chairman, Bob Bloom. Bob, welcome back. And someone I really enjoyed working with, I called her the bedrock or the keystone of the commission, and that was our dear friend, the former Commissioner Kim Pisangrilli. Kim, welcome back. Next to Commissioner Pisangrilli, we have former Chairman Terry Fitzpatrick. Terry, we see you a lot, but welcome back. And all the way from Butler County, our former colleague, a good friend, former Vice Chairman Ty Christie. Ty, welcome back. Representing former Chairwoman Linda Talafaro is our good friend Bob Bennett. Linda could not be with us here, but Bob, thank you for joining us in her absence. Now, Tom informs me that our guests represent more than 60 years of commission service. So, again, I want to thank them for being with us here today. We have a number of special events planned here this afternoon. But one thing I want to do here this morning, we also have another special guest. And we're pleased to honor this morning. As many of you know, earlier this month, Sonny Popowski announced his plans to officially retire on October 30th of this year after 33 years of stellar service to this Commonwealth. My colleagues and I have been blessed to work with him on a myriad of issues. And if you ask me to describe Sonny, I would use phrases like this: fair, balanced, open-minded, willing to work with others to build consensus, incredibly competitive on the golf course and on the squash court, enormously proud of his team members at OCA, and I know Tanya McCloskey's here, enormously proud of your team. And just as I say this with all sincerity, Sonny, an all-around great person, both professionally and as a husband and a father, and I'm told a new grandfather here in the coming hours. Now, I'm also told that you're going to be splitting time between Philadelphia and Brigantine, New Jersey, and I know you're going to keep an active lifestyle. But, Sonny, I thought about on my train ride up here, and I know you and I have tracked many miles on the Keystone line together, but I thought about some good retirement advice for you as you spend some time down in Brigantine, and I figured this out. So you're going to get, an annuity check from the state for your retirement, but I figured if you kind of, run into a little income problem, you can invite Dan Clearfield down to the Brigantine golf links, and it'd be like hitting the lottery every day when you play him in a Nassau. I know you'll clean his clock, and I've often made claims about Dan Clearfield. I don't even know if he's here, but I'm sure he'll hear this. I call Dan the human ATM machine when it comes to playing golf, because you always cash out playing against him. And ladies and gentlemen, on a serious note, we have all been blessed to work with you. I know the former chairman and commissioners that are with us, the five of us. Commissioner Whitmer has just launched our new outreach effort with OCA on our quarterly meetings. And I think it's a testimony to your leadership as you pass the baton here in the next couple days that you have left an everlasting footprint and legacy as the longest-serving consumer advocate, I believe, in the nation. And you've left the place better off before you came on board, and that's a testimony to your leadership. And I'd ask that we all stand together and recognize Now, Sonny, the microphone is yours. I just ask that you be kind to us and not roast us here today. We will miss you, but the microphone is yours.
Okay. Well, thank you, Chairman Powell and commissioners, and illustrious former commissioners and all of you out here. It is fitting that I'm here today for the 75th anniversary of the PUC. As many of you know, I was at that first meeting in 1937, and I was actually in the back. I was just a young consumer activist with my rate cap signs in the back of the room. But seriously, it really is. It is a great honor to be here with these former commissioners, all of whom I worked with, members of the staff, administrative law judges. It's been an honor and a privilege to practice here before the Public Utility Commission. I've spent virtually my entire professional life practicing before this Public Utility Commission. It has been an honor. This is an outstanding institution. You have a lot to be proud of, and you have served the people of Pennsylvania well. As for all of you out in the audience, first of all, folks from my office, thank you for coming, and thank you for sticking with us and doing all the tremendous work that you've done. It's been great to work with you. And for those of you in the industry, I really appreciate the kind words and the kind thoughts that I've received from so many of you, other than Joe Clea. But really, I think we fight each other in the hearing room. We represent different positions, but when it comes down to it, I think I often think that at a very basic level, we're all in this together. We all share the goal of making sure that all Pennsylvanians have access to these vital life-sustaining services that your companies provide. And it's been a pleasure to work with all of you. Even though I'm going to be retiring from the OCA, I hope to remain in this field, and I hope to continue to work with many of you in the future. So thank you again, and I appreciate your kind words, and get on with public meeting, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonny. It's a pleasure to welcome to the podium to now officially begin public meeting. Welcome Cheryl Walker Davis. Cheryl, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning. I believe the first matter that we did not get resolved with all the speeches here this morning is the approval of the minutes from the September 27th meeting. And I believe Vice Chairman Coleman, who's from Centre County, Pennsylvania, you are the editor of the minutes.
I am indeed, Chairman, and thank you. I have reviewed the minutes of the September 27th meeting and move that they be approved as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as submitted. Cheryl, good morning again.
And good morning again. May it please this honorable commission, on behalf of your various offices and bureaus, we present for your consideration and disposition the following agenda items, commencing this morning with matters on behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services. It is recommended in omnibus fashion that the Commission adopt all items appearing on pages 1 and 2 through and including the Apex Limousine application proceeding.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
On behalf of the Bureau of Audits, it is recommended that the Commission adopt all of the recommendations appearing on pages 3, 4, 5, and 6 through and including the Siegel Gas Company gas cost rate recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
On behalf of the Director of Regulatory Operations, with regard to the first item pertaining to the regulations on marketing and sales practices, it should be noted that it appears to say proposed rulemaking. That should be final rulemaking, and with that correction, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the recommendation there appearing.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
And it is recommended that the Commission adopt the recommendation of the Director of Regulatory Operations with regard to interim guidelines to shorten the time frame for customers to switch electric generation suppliers.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. Just one footnote, I want to take this opportunity, my colleagues and I, to thank the representatives. I know Karen Mowery is with us here this morning, but the team members that make up the Office of Competitive Market Oversight, I want to thank you. We all want to thank you for a job well done in preparing these two items here today for public meeting.
Continuing with the presentation of agenda items and matters on behalf of the Office of Special Assistance, commencing on page 8, It is recommended that the Commission adopt, should be noted that the first item appearing on page 8 pertaining to the complaint of Mitchell Peffer versus Pico has been postponed until public meeting of December the 5th. On page 9, the first item pertaining to the complaint of Mary Kincaid versus Philadelphia Gas Works has been postponed until public meeting of November the 8th. It is recommended that the Commission adopt the remaining item on page 9, as well as all items appearing on pages 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 through and including the amendment to the interconnection agreement filed by Sprint, Spectrum, and Consolidated Communications of Pennsylvania.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
On behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, on page 18, it should be noted that the first two items pertaining to UGI Utilities Gas Division application to abandon service to 2 customers in Sugarloaf, Luzerne County, and 1 customer in Quakertown have been postponed until public meeting of November the 8th. It is recommended that the Commission adopt the recommendation at the bottom of page 18 pertaining to the application of Zoom Energy Pennsylvania, as well as all items appearing on pages 19, 20, and 21 through and including the recommendation to make public the quarterly earnings report.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
On behalf of the Law Bureau, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the recommendation appearing on page 22 to record and enter into the public meeting record the notational vote conducted on October the 18th in the matter involving William Frey and the request for review of the South Fayette Township zoning ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
And on behalf of the Office of Administrative Law Judge, on page 23, it should be noted that the first 2 items pertaining to the complaint proceeding involving Don Smith versus Pennsylvania Electric Company, as well as the formal complaint of Joseph Pala versus People's Natural Gas Company, have both been postponed until public meeting of November the 8th. It is recommended that the Commission adopt the ALJ recommendations appearing initially with the last item on page 23 pertaining to Pico Energy Company's Energy Efficiency and Conservation Annual Reconciliation Report, and the remaining item on page 24 pertaining to David Moore Jr. versus Pico Energy Electric.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, that does conclude the presentation of regular agenda items. Turning now to the carry-in agenda, it is recommended that the Commission adopt, on behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, the 2 recommendations pertaining to the letters of notification in the 2 PPL electric utilities proceedings they're appearing.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, that does complete the presentation of regular and carry-in agenda items.
Ms. Davis, are there any other items to come before the Commission here this morning?
No more public meeting agenda items, Mr. Chairman, but there's more to come.
So I hear, but I also heard a little rumor that a colleague is turning 40 tomorrow. Just making sure we're all paying attention. My esteemed colleague from Chester County, Commissioner Gardner, is going to celebrate a milestone himself tomorrow. I'm not going to get into years. I thought it was 40 myself. I mean, he's just aged so gracefully. But Marilyn Monroe obviously couldn't join us today, so we're not going to serenade you with a happy birthday. But Commissioner, it's just want to, on behalf of the 5 of us say, or 4 of us, excuse me, you make up 5, to say happy birthday, and I know it's tomorrow.
Thank you very much, and I can't believe that the Commission will go through so much trouble to celebrate my birthday, bringing all of the former commissioners back. I'm just overwhelmed, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. You've never been one for a loss of words here this morning in public meeting. And on that note, we are adjourned.